You're going against people that are worse than you, have lower trophies, and you're still managing to lose your clan war battles. Well, in this video, I'm going to be showing you the best 4 decks for clan wars in Clash Royale. And these decks will also be able to be applied to 1v1 duels with your friends or with other people, I guess. Also, before I kind of show the decks, I want to establish that I will be giving non-champion versions of certain decks for those that are not level 14, because I know most of you are not going to be level 14 watching this video. So I'm going to have some alternate versions of decks, or just alternate decks in general that you can use rather than the original, because a few of these decks are going to have champions for those that are level 14 to maximize their chance of winning. If you do end up enjoying this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button down below. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and we're getting that much closer every day. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Hopefully we can get 1,000 by the end of the summer. And yeah, let's get into it. So when you're playing Clan Wars, there's a specific way you want to go about doing your battles to get the most clan points possible. First, you want to do a duel. A duel is a best of 3 battle. You get more points for winning a battle in a duel than a normal battle. You will get 250 for a battle win inside of a duel and only 200 in a normal battle. So if you go 2-0 in a duel, you get 500 points rather than 400 if you just won 2 battles by themselves. So you always want to start with a duel. And when you go into your first battle in a duel, I recommend using this deck. This is the new, in my opinion, strongest log bait deck in the game. One of the best decks just out of any deck in the game right now. And it actually has the Mighty Miner, the Goblin Barrel, and the Mirror with the Dark Goblin. You've still got your Rocket and Log, and you got your Cannon instead of like an Inferno Tower or something that you see in classic log bait, and Fire Spear. This deck is extremely strong. Realistically, it's not too hard to understand. You have a really strong defense with your Mighty Miner, your Dark Goblin, your Cannon, and your Rocket. Plus with the Mirror, you can get mirrored Dark Goblins on the floor, mirrored cannons to pull balloons or giants or electro giants towards like your king tower or just away from your tower that you don't want to get destroyed. You can mirror the Goblin Barrels on offense, which are so overpowered and so hard to deal with because they use their log on the first one and then they've got no chance on the second. Mighty Miner is such an underrated card right now. It can take towers by itself easily, and it's so easy to outplay people with the Mighty Miner. Also, what people need to take into fact using the Mighty Miner, I want to give this tip before you go and use this deck, is that you should use his bomb on defense. So like, let's say there's a skeleton army coming at your tower, really inconvenient, right? But you just put a Mighty Miner down, use the ability, and it'll go to the other side with basically full health, and it'll drop the bomb, killing the whole skeleton army for just 1 elixir, and then you have another 4 elixir card going towards the tower. Something I like to do with this deck a lot is place the Mighty Miner on one side, Goblin Barrel the other side, and use the Mighty Miner ability to tank for the Goblin Barrel on the other side last second when they won't expect it. This especially when their log or a spell that kills the Goblin Barrel is out of cycle. And lastly, just get a lot of Dark Goblins on the floor. It's one of the best cards in the game for a reason. You get a Dark Goblin, even a mirrored Dark Goblin on defense can be so nasty. It can do so much damage. This is the first deck that I recommend in your clan war battles. And if you aren't level 14, instead of using this deck, I actually, instead of substituting the Mighty Miner, I would recommend using a completely different deck. Being Pekka Bridge Spam, I think Pekka Bridge Spam is super strong. It's versatile. I think it's a good first deck to pull out in a clan war duel, and it has no champions. This deck also will not interfere with any of the other 4 duel decks that I will be showing you, so none of the cards will overlap. And basically what I recommend with this deck, just split lane pressure. You have really strong defense with Electro, Wizard, Magic, Archer is really good on offense. You have Pekka on defense. Bandit is just one of the best overall cards in the game. Fireball, Zap. I mean, it's really, most of you know how to play this deck. I'm not going to explain this deck thoroughly. It's not new. A lot of people understand it. If you want more gameplay with these decks, I can do a second video basically giving gameplay with all of these decks, kind of helping you guys out. And yeah, in your second duel battle, most likely you would have won the first one using a very strong deck, and all of you being very skilled players. That's why you're watching this video, because you're good. Yeah, anyways, it's going to be 2.8 hog cycle, but it's actually going to be 2.9 because we're going to be using royal delivery instead of log. Log now does not help as much in a spell cycle scenario, so I've added the royal delivery instead, a much stronger spell on defense, and you still have the earthquake to cycle. You have firecracker to get chip damage. You obviously know how this deck works. Hog Rider, one of the most OP cards in the game. Please nerf the Hog Rider. We need it. We need it to be nerfed, especially for the mid ladder players, man. It's so strong down there. Yeah, not too much I feel like I need to explain with this deck, but these 2 decks, or I guess these 3, depending on if you're level 14 or not, are the decks that I recommend using in a duel scenario. But if it goes down to a 3rd game in a duel, let's say you lose one of the first 2, which you probably won't, it's going down to Giant Graveyard. This deck, one of the strongest decks in the game, so overpowered and doesn't take that much skill, which is a good thing for us because we just want to get the game done quickly. Clan Wars, like, oh, gotta do my Clan Wars today. This deck, you'll get the game done quickly. It's OP. I would normally recommend it for a extra game mode in Clan War, like double elixir, sudden death, triple elixir, whatever the extra game mode would be. But it's still really good in single elixir as well. Pretty much one of my only tips with this deck is just play a lot more defensive until double elixir, because you can easily overcommit with this deck, and if you overcommit early in the game at single elixir, you could have a big counter push coming towards you with not much you can do about it. You don't really have a heavy spell, so you can't let super big counter pushes come your way when you don't have much elixir. And obviously those that are not level 14 are asking what they should use instead of the Archer Queen, or if they should use a different deck. I actually still recommend using this deck. Instead of the Archer Queen though, I recommend using the Witch. The Witch is super good and helps this deck a lot, because you already know that Giant Witch is a valid push since day 1 of Clash Royale, one of the most OP OG combos in the game, and it's got good defense, it's got good offense too. It can really help overwhelm the opponent's tower with the graveyard, and then the Witch's skeletons, it'll be really difficult to deal with. And that's pretty much the only change I have in this deck if you're not level 14. Now going into the last deck, my pride and joy. Everyone hates this deck, but oh my goodness, it is so good, and it doesn't have champions. It's so good. It's still one of the top win percentage decks in the game to this day. It's Lumberloon Freeze. This deck I do not recommend using in a duel scenario, mainly because you do see a lot of log bait in duels, and log bait a lot of times is a bad matchup for Lumberloon. I recommend using it in a double elixir, sudden death, triple elixir type game mode when it is OP. When you are playing this deck in double or triple elixir, sudden death, whatever the extra game mode is, it is impossible to beat. I mean, it's so good, dude. Only weakness is single elixir. So oh, and Elixir Collector. Elixir Collector and Single Elixir are the 2 main counters to this deck. I would know because this has been my main deck for like half a year now. With this deck, the main thing is counter pushes. I mean, your cards on defense almost always survive because your cards on defense are things like Bowler, which has so much health. It almost never dies on defense. Fully counters E-Barbs very easily. You have the Electro Dragon, Inferno Dragon. Inferno Dragon does not die to lightning, which is something you should know, but the Electro Dragon does. If you're playing an opponent with Rocket or Lightning, try not to give them value with that, which I feel like is obvious, but a lot of times people don't really think about it. They put their Electro Dragon in the back, even though they already know the opponent has Lightning, and then they get a Lightning off on the Electro Dragon and a tower, which is just value. Yeah, just play off counter pushes with this deck, and you get one good counter push, and it's GG. That's all I gotta say. And those are going to be my 4 Clan War decks for you in Clash Royale. Impress your clan leader, you know what I'm saying? This is what you gotta do to impress the clan. Get yourself that promotion that you need, because you're getting all your wins in Clan Wars every single day. 4-0, 4-0, 4-0 all week. And it's just good to see yourself first in the clan with the most wins. It's always nice. And with that, that's going to do it for my first video back. After this long break, I've been on vacation, I've had all this stuff going on. We're back, baby. It's time to get back on the grind. I appreciate you guys for watching so much. Road to 1K subs. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like, and make sure you tell me in the comments if you want to see more of this or what other content you want to see revolving around Clash Royale. I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace.